Hello YouTube, I'm Zach, you're watching Zach D TV. Thanks for stopping in to the place for interesting news from around the net. Today we're going to talk about a challenge being presented by some flat earthers. We're looking at how you can make water from air. We might have the end of WikiLeaks, and we're going to wrap up with poor Shia LaBeouf. He cannot catch a break. Remember, if you want more news stories like this, Monday through Friday, go ahead and click that subscribe button over here. Other than that, let's get into this. Today's show is going to be a little bit shorter than my normal one. I only pulled out 4 stories instead of 5. It was really kind of hard to find something to shoot today. There's a lot of odd topics out there, but just nothing really that caught my eye. So, this is what I got for you. My first story is going to be about a flat earth challenge. The group Sacred Word Publishing believes that we live on a pizza and the sun moves around us. They are offering an $8,200 prize if you can prove them wrong. Seems like it'd be pretty easy because, facts are that we live on a round planet. You should be able to prove them wrong and make $8,200. This challenge is open to everyone in the world. If you can prove Satan's globe earth lie, you get the money. As they say in the release, if you could prove once and for all that the earth is a globe or sphere, as affirmed by the Copernican heliocentric model of our solar system, this is a challenge to all who poke fun and condemn those of us that have deeply studied and know for a certainty that the earth is not a globe, and neither is it moving. To win, you must be able to prove that the earth is traveling faster than 50 miles an hour through space, and prove that it has a measurable curve. That's all they request. You cannot quote old studies, old experiments, because that's all Satan's lie. You have to come up with 2 new experiments to show that this is the truth. The deadline for this is November 10th when they have their Flat Earth Convention in Tennessee. So if you can get it in by then, you win the whole $8,250. If you don't get it by then, the $5,000 prize stands forever. It will be there as long as necessary until someone comes up with a way to prove that the earth is round. Seems like it'd be just as easy as look at a photo, open a textbook, but they want you to make them a believer. Well, those guys believe that the earth is flat. Maybe they believe this next story is about magic. Scientists from M.I.T. with the University of California, Berkeley, have come together to build a machine that could produce water from air. I know we've seen these before, and they always turn out to be bullshit. This can make water from air using a metallic organic framework. Basically, it's a lattice, a 3D lattice, built from little metallic particles that they could change the size of the gap in the middle of by using different types of metal. So what they've done here is make the size of those gaps the same size as a molecule of water. So it will actually fill those holes with water molecules. Think of it like a little metallic sponge, if you will. It's pretty cool. In order to get the water out, you heat the material, and that turns it into water vapor, and then you need a condenser to cool it. So, solar power. You run the sun through it to heat the material, that releases the vapor, and you use solar power to run the condenser system. Right now, this is in lab trials. It's only like proof of concept, but it is working. They're able to pool 2 liters of water using 2 kilos of the metallic organic framework, or MOF, they're calling it. So the return isn't that good over a 24-hour period. Well, they call it a 12-hour period, 12-hour light. But they figure it should be scalable. So it'll go from there. And of course, as technology progresses, it'll always get more efficient. There might be a day when we can bring water to Africa. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned it. It can harvest water in humidity levels as low as 20%, which is a lot of your arid areas. So this one will work. Maybe someday soon we'll see a technology developed that can really take care of thirst throughout the world. This next story should have Julian Assange just a little bit worried. Mike Pompeo, he's the head of our CIA, has some very choice words for this guy. And they're a little bit scary coming from the United States CIA. He has called him a coward hiding behind a screen. He said he cloaks himself in liberty and privacy, but only really cares about his celebrity. He stated that it's time to call out WikiLeaks for what it is. A non-state hostile intelligence service, often abetted by state actors like Russia. His ilk make common cause with dictators. In his talk, he kind of alluded to taking action against Assange. He flat out stated that it ends now, and also mentioned that he is very close with the Trump White House. But you have to keep in mind too, like Donald Trump, while on the campaign trail, was doing nothing but praising WikiLeaks. because they're uncovering a lot of bad stuff. And even this Pompeo guy was praising their work in releasing the Democratic email leak. But it just seems like, he doesn't want his shit aired, but it's okay to put someone else out. And I'll tell you what, Assange reminded him of this. He sent him a couple tweets after this statement came out, and really stuck it to the guy, including one that showed a tweet from him approving of the leak of the Democratic emails. I do have to say one thing for this story, though. When you have the CIA telling you it's over, that's a scary group of people to have threatening you. I'm going to wrap up with the story of another guy who just cannot hide from his tormentors. I'm sure you know of Shia LaBeouf and his He Will Not Divide Us protest. It started off at a museum in New York, got shut down there. Went out to New Mexico, got shut down there. Went to, Tennessee. They stole his flag off a flagpole. Middle of Tennessee, middle of the country. He decided he's done with that noise. He is going to do something they cannot mess with him on. He started a new project called alonetogether, where it's he and the two other artists that were working on the He Will Not Divide Us project. They all rented cabins in the Laplands. Now that's an Arctic Finland area. This is some remote area. They rented 3 different cabins, and they're live streaming daily to the museum in Helsinki. You can go there, talk with them, share your opinions, stuff like that. Well, of course, 4chan's trolling that spot immediately. What's crazier, though, is they decide they're going to find the cabins. Going as far as using the wood grain on the walls behind them, the furniture that was caught in the images. They believe they found Shia LaBeouf's cabin. They stated, there's only 3,000 rental cabins in all of Finland. So, be easy enough to find. They started going on websites for these cabin rentals, and they found one that had all the same stuff as Shia's did. They then went and looked at the contract, and it was rented for the same term as this project. So they think they have them. And now they think they have them, they've got to figure out what to do with them. And there's been some pretty funny suggestions, like this one here, take the cabin, to a little bit sicker of let's drop poop down the chimney. I'll tell you, love them or hate them, 4chan can do some amazing stuff when they put their mind to it. This is a group of people that just has too much time on their hands, and I wish they were using their powers for good. Could you imagine if they put their minds to tracking down bin Laden back when he was missing? Maybe they could have made a difference in the world. And that is where I'm going to end this. And hey, if you like what I do, your friends probably will too. Why don't you go ahead and share me on Facebook and Twitter. Remember, I'm here Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week. It is Friday, so I'm going to call it a weekend. But I'll be back on Monday. I'll see you guys then. Have a safe weekend.